Broadcasting live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Here's your host, Andrew Romanella.
Okay? Like, just get the hell out of here. Nobody cares what you think if you're not a Mets fan.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another edition of The Rome Show, broadcasting live on YouTube, Twitter, X, and Instagram. I'm your host, Andrew Romanella. It's a Friday, which means we got a lot to talk about today to get you ready for the weekend. A huge Thursday night football victory for the New York Football Giants last night, 34-17 over interdivision rival, the Philadelphia Eagles. Huge day for Cam Scatabo and Jackson Dart. So we'll break that down. Plus, we got to give you our picks for the entire day of Sunday, week 6 in the National Football League. We have Seska's Sense. That's right. Every Friday, we give you Seska's college football picks. And by the way, he's sitting at 9-6. And of course, because we are in the midst of the Major League Baseball postseason, we'll give you some updates on the Cubs staying alive and forcing a Game 5, and the Phillies, the Phillies losing their series in quite possibly one of the worst ways you've ever seen. So a really jam-packed Friday show here for the people. If you want to get in on the action, head to youtube.com/The Romanellas. That's youtube.com/The Romanellas. Hit subscribe and you'll get all of the Romanellas content on our YouTube page. It's fire, if I must say so myself. On Twitter, X, and Instagram, it is the Rome Show 1. That's the Rome Show, then the number 1 on Twitter, X, and Instagram. And finally, Facebook, the Rome Show. You missed the Rome Show live. You missed it on youtube.com/The Romanellas or the Rome Show 1 on Twitter, X, and Instagram. You can go ahead and hit the Rome Show podcasts wherever you listen to your podcast. Last night, the New York Football Giants defeated the Philadelphia Eagles 34-17, scoring at least one touchdown in all 4 quarters. The New York Giants scored more than 7 points in the first quarter of yesterday's contest for the Philadelphia Eagles for the first time in over 81 games. Yeah, you heard that correctly. It's been over 81 games since the New York Giants offense has scored more than 7 points in the first quarter. They scored 13 against the Eagles. I think what quite possibly is the most impressive part of this victory for the Giants is the goose egg they held Philadelphia to in the second half, outscoring the Eagles 14-0 in half number 2 to secure this victory. Jackson Dart, 17 for 25, 195 yards, 1 touchdown. On the ground, he had 13 carries for 58 yards and a touchdown, none bigger than in the first half, escaping a potential sack and turning it into a touchdown. Cam Scatabo had a great day with the rock in his hand for the football Giants. He touched the rock 21 times. That accounted for 110 total yards, and it also accounted for 3 touchdowns. 98 of those yards were on the ground. 12 of them were through the air. 3 touchdowns, however, in his hand. So when you look at the Giants, there were 4 touchdowns scored, and all 4 touchdowns were in the hands of Jackson Dart or Cam Scatabo, okay? Including the throwing touchdown where Jackson Dart escapes pressure, escapes a sack, and hits Wan'Dale Robinson on the sidelines for a 25, 30-plus yard touchdown. If you're a Giants fan, what's gone on the last 2 weeks specifically are what you need to prepare for the remainder of the season. Okay? It could be a really good game. It could be a really bad game. You're going to be riding a roller coaster of emotions with these two rookies. But one thing is for certain. If you're a Giants fan and you're sitting down at the television on a Thursday, a Sunday afternoon, a Sunday evening, or a Monday night, and you're going to have the chance to watch Jackson Dart and Cam Scatabo play football together, you should be really excited. 1,000%. Without a thought in my mind, you should be excited. This is a fun brand of football. And though you're looking at this thing going, how the hell do we beat the Eagles, but we lose to the Saints? That's rookie play, man. That is, you're being led by two rookies, and you're going to have to go through some growing pains. I don't know what the rest of this year turns out, but if I am a Giants fan, I'm so excited for the next game. When's the last time a Giants fan could say that? When's the last time a New York Football Giants fan could say, I'm really excited for this football game? It's been a minute. It has been a minute. And Jackson Dart and Cam Scatabo have brought back that energy, that life, that excitement to the New York Football Giants franchise. And on the flip side, all of that excitement that Saquon Barkley brought the Eagles last year, that run game that the Eagles trounced over people for 17 games plus the postseason last year, it's completely gone. Okay? This defense, not really that elite. This offensive line, not really that elite. The all-over offense, not really that elite. A.J. Brown looks slow. Devonta Smith looks solid. Saquon looks like he's got nowhere to run. Jalen Hurts looks like he's overthinking. Like, must I remind this Philly Eagles team that they won the Super Bowl last year? You know? Like, friendly reminder, you're the best team in the league. You should be, at least. Not anymore, obviously. But it's like I'm watching a Philadelphia Eagles team try and find their identity, and I'm like, isn't your identity running the football? Is that not your identity? We have an elite running back. We have elite running quarterback. We have a good offensive line. Run the rock. Time of possession. Like, am I missing something? It feels to me like for 6 games this season, the Eagles are in an identity crisis. Who are they? What team are you? Do you want to be the team that ran the rock for over 2,500 yards on the ground last year? You and your quarterback and your running back accounted for like 3,000 yards running the football last year. Is that the team you want to be? Do you want to be a team that's founded on defense? Your offense can sputter sometimes, but we could stop anyone? Or you want to be the Detroit Lions, who just put up points, average 35 a game? The scary part is the Eagles have the opportunity to be any of those 3 teams, and right now they are none of those 3 teams. And the facts are the facts. You have the best running back in the league, best running quarterback in the league. Run the football. I should not be seeing 12 attempts for Saquon and 7 for Jalen Hurts to account for 71 total yards. That is not it. 4 tush pushes from the 5-yard line is not it. That tells you can't run the rock. So the Eagles have a real identity crisis going on right now. They've lost 2 straight and are quickly looking like a team that is not a favorite in the NFC or the National Football League, whereas the Giants, there's no identity crisis there. They are the Cam Scatabo and Jackson Dart show. Huge victory last night on Thursday night football. Some news and notes from this weekend before we take a quick break. Joe Flacco starting in Cincinnati after being traded to the Bengals. Mac Jones limited in practice for the 49ers. However, is expected to play because Brock Purdy is still out. Ravens are going away from Cooper Rush, and they are going towards Tyler Huntley. This is something we've seen a few times over the last few years for the Ravens. I don't know if that makes a difference because that's the worst Ravens defense I have ever seen in my time of watching the National Football League. And finally, another quarterback possibly on the shelf. Arizona Cardinals Kyler Murray is questionable according to the reports. So we will see what that turns into for the Cardinals, who come off their first loss of the season against the Tennessee Titans, who are arguably the worst team in the National Football League. Let's take a quick 40-second break. When we come back, we got Major League Baseball playoffs, our Sunday picks, and our college football picks for the people, because that also means we're going to tell you.
Update.
No. Oh, no. We'll figure it out. Either way, commercial break back after. Woo! It's the Rome Show, people. We broadcast live on youtube.com/the Romanellas, the fire website. You should go check it out. On Twitter, X, and Instagram, The Rome Show 1, or on Facebook, The Rome Show. Pretty easy stuff. You miss any of them, The Rome Show podcast, wherever you get your podcast. The Philadelphia Phillies, their season is over. You might be wondering why, and I'm going to tell you it's because their pitchers could not field their position. Here is your replay of the Philadelphia Phillies in extra innings last night. The 11th inning, bases loaded, 2 outs. Ground ball back to the pitcher. Check out this heartbreaking way to lose.
Dodgers ecstatic. You know, when this game ends in the cruelest way for the Phillies.
You hate the game ended this way. It was played so well, and Kirkering right there, plenty of time to go to first. I mean,
so if you're wondering what happened here, we'll put you on a pause and we'll give you a breakdown. The Phillies and the Dodgers battled for 11 innings. Of really, really good pitched baseball. Tyler Glasnow for the Dodgers gave up 2 hits on 6 innings, 8 Ks. Sanchez for the Phillies, 6 1/3, 5 hits, 1 earned, 5 Ks. And then the bullpens for each team really came in and did a pretty good job, with each bullpen over the course of 5 innings giving up 1 run. And then we get to the 11th, okay? And bases are loaded, 1 out. Orion Kirkering is on the mound for the Phillies, and a ground ball gets hit back to him, which you will see right now. Okay, now remember, ladies and gentlemen, the bases are loaded. There's a force out at every base, and furthermore, there are 2 outs in the inning. So you just got to get the 3rd out. As you can see, he's looking to field the ball, go to first. He fumbles the ball. Now, I want you to take a look at where the runner is in this video. The runner is nearly 15 feet out the box. That is it. He then picks up the baseball, panics. What do? Again, look at both runners, okay? We have the runner down the third baseline within 20 feet of home plate, but you can still see the guy going to first base. What's he do? Panic mode. Throws the baseball away, game over. Check out this visual, ladies and gentlemen. This is a picture that is going to haunt Philadelphia Phillies fans for a minute now, because what you see here is the pitcher picking up the baseball and the runner going to first base still needing 45 more feet at a minimum to be safe. And instead of making the play you've made your entire career, making what seems like the easiest play in the book and throwing the ball to first base, he panic modes and launches it over the catcher's head. Game over, series over, season over. And in this picture, look at the catcher for the Philadelphia Phillies pointing at first base. Even with the bobble, it is clear and obvious that this dude would have been out by a mile at first base. And instead now, we are going home, if you're a Philadelphia Phillies fan, not just like, what the hell just happened, but like, how many more chances do we have a team that we think can win the World Series, and we don't? And by the way, I tell my players this all the time. It is the smallest play. It is the simplest form of defense that is going to win you or lose you a game in the most important points of the year. Bunt defense, ground balls, the basics, okay? Baseball is that sport. It is. It's you practice all these things. You watch home runs get hit, these cool doubles. People are celebrating all over the place. Guys are throwing 100 miles per hour, and the game always seems to come down to what is the easiest play on the field, and it doesn't get made. Or a play that you've made your entire life, you start to freak out. All of a sudden, I don't know what to do. Bang, throw the ball behind home plate. Game's over, season's over. What just happened? And it is always going to come down to those teams that handle the fundamentals well. If you're a team that cares about fundamentals, you train the fundamentals, and you show that you're good at the fundamentals 162 plus games a year, you have a chance to win the World Series. But you cannot break down defensively, as we saw with the New York Yankees against the Los Angeles Dodgers last World Series. And what were we talking about after game number 2? The way that the Dodgers fielded their position on a bunt play. That is fundamentals. What videos have you seen surfacing? Freddie Freeman doing pick work before the game to get better. He then picks a ball to end game number 2 to give the Dodgers a 2-0 lead. The teams that practice the fundamentals, the teams that dominate the fundamentals are the teams that have the best chance of winning throughout the postseason. And last night you saw it firsthand for the Philadelphia Phillies and their fan base. We didn't handle the small things. We didn't handle the routine play. And because we didn't handle being great defensively at those same principles that we were practicing when we were 10, 11, 12 years old, we are now not forcing a game 5. We now don't have a chance to go to the World Series. What a heartbreaking way to lose if you're the Philadelphia Phillies and you're the Phillies fans. On the flip side, the Chicago Cubs found something in their home ballpark because now they have won 2 straight, and they are forcing a game 5 in Milwaukee, a 3-run homer in the first inning, and then a run in the 6th, a run in the 7th, and a run in the 8th were what did it for the Cubbies. Matthew Boyd, good on the hill for Chicago, 4.2 innings, 2 hits, 6 Ks. And then the entire Cubbies bullpen accounted for the other 4.1 innings. 5 pitchers threw a shutout against this Brewers team that in the first 2 games scored a combined 16 runs. And in the second 2 games combined to score 3 runs. So can the Cubs bring that on the road? Or is this purely a home-and-home series? We'll find out. And then also tonight, by the way, you're going to have the conclusion of the Tigers and Mariners series. On Sunday, little teaser.
What you watching?
So what you watching? On Sunday, it starts the ALDS. And so the Toronto Blue Jays are sitting there wondering, well, who are we going to play? We'll find out tonight. Tigers at Mariners, 8:08 p.m. the start there. Tarek Skubal versus George Kirby. That's going to be a fantastic pitching matchup. And then Cubs and Brewers game 5 will be Saturday.
What you watching?
At 8:08 p.m. We'll give you some more of that in a minute. That's where Major League Baseball postseason currently stands right now. We finished the show in 35 seconds with our picks for the weekend in both college and the National Football League. We'll be right back. We're back here on the Rome Show, broadcasting live on YouTube, Twitter, X, Instagram, and Facebook. It's Friday. It's the back end of Friday, which means it's our favorite segment of the week. It is
What you watching?
which we have turned into our NFL picks on a Sunday and something that we like to call Seska's Sense.
Seska's Sense, your weekly college football bananas, only on the Rome Show. Compliments of Rich Seska. Rich Seska is not liable for bad decisions you make with your bananas. These plays are merely educated guesses or even high-level personal intuition. This is not a get-rich-quick or pyramid scheme. We do not call ourselves experts, just fans. Viewer banana spending advised.
Viewer banana spending advised. That's absolutely right. Let's get into our picks today for the people. We are starting with South Florida and North Florida. We got South Florida favored by 1 point here against North Texas, the two teams with playoff hopes on the line. Both teams have really good offenses. However, Seska feels South Florida will take the 1 point here because they've played a really tough schedule. And though both teams' offensives are high-powered, he feels like that South Florida schedule is going to bode well for them in this contest. Let's take South Florida at the -1. UCLA versus Michigan State. Right now, Michigan State favored by 8.5 in this contest, but UCLA coming off of a huge upset victory against Penn State. They're riding the vibes of the coaching change and the big upset. Michigan State is also not great defensively. So if Nico Iamaleava can really come out there with that UCLA offense and put up some points, which they did against Penn State, nearly 40 and 400 yards, this could be a tighter contest than you expect. So we're going to take UCLA at the +8.5 over Michigan State. BYU versus Arizona. Anytime you have a QB named Bear, how can you not be excited? Elite point there out of Coach Seska. Both teams average 30 points a game. BYU's averaging 38. Arizona's averaging 33. So BYU versus AU. Whoa. Over 46.5. We're going to take the over on the 46.5. Finally, Tennessee versus Arkansas. Tennessee favored in this game by 12.5. We're going to take Tennessee at the 12.5 favorite over Arkansas. Arkansas coming off firing their head coach and defensive coordinator. That cannot be good. And your Sun Belt pick of the week, the over-under in JMU versus Louisiana Lafayette that's sitting at 44.5. Both teams are averaging roughly 28 points per game, but the Raging Cajuns are giving up like 32 a game. So much like my principles for the Eagles and the Giants last night, over on the Sun Belt 44.5. Coach Seska, by the way, sitting at 9-6 this year on his picks. So if you're not tailing this, you're crazy. Those are your Seska Sense here on a Friday.
Seska's Sense, your weekly college football bananas, only on the Rome Show. Compliments of Rich Seska. Rich Seska is not liable for bad decisions you make with your bananas. These plays are merely educated guesses or even high-level personal intuition. This is not a get-rich-quick or pyramid scheme. We do not call ourselves experts, just fans. Viewer banana spending advised.
What you watching?
All right, let's finish this thing off, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a fantastic Friday show. Hope you enjoyed it. We are going to run you through our National Football League picks and tell you the games we believe you should be watching. First and foremost, the Chargers at the Dolphins. The Chargers are favored by 3.5 in this contest. I don't really know, honestly. I'm not going to lie. But at home in Miami, Chargers off 2 straight losses. I'm taking the Dolphins at the +3.5. Denver travels to New York. They take on the Jets. They're favored by 6.5. Give me Denver at -6.5. Cardinals at Colts. Colts, they're favored by 7.5. Cardinals don't know if they're going to have Kyler Murray off their worst loss of the year, heading to Indiana Jones domain. Give me Jones and the boys -7.5. New England is at New Orleans, and they are favored by 3.5. Though I want to believe in what the Saints did last week, I believe more in what the Pats did beating the Bills. Give me the Patriots at the -3.5. The Browns, they head to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers. And by the way, they are underdogs by nearly a touchdown, which I kind of disagree with, okay? I don't think the Steelers are that good. So I'm going to take the Browns at the +6.5 here. And by the way, this could be the best defense in the league when going right. That could happen here in Pittsburgh. Browns +6.5. Cowboys at Panthers favored by 3.5. I'm going to take the boys there at the -3.5. Seahawks at Jags. I'm surprised by this one. The Jags are 4-1. and they just beat the Kansas City Chiefs in this same scenario at home. Yet here we are. We find the Jags as the underdog. Seahawks are favored by 1.5. No way. Give me the Jags at the plus 1.5. The Rams, they're favored in Baltimore against the Ravens by 7.5. That'll tell you how bad it's gotten for the Ravens. I'll take the Rams with that number at the minus 7.5. Two bad teams at 1-4, Titans and Raiders. Raiders are favored by 3.5 in this contest. Absolutely not. Give me Cam Ward and the boys coming off their first victory of the year. Titans at the plus 3.5. Bengals, Packers. This is a 14.5 point spread. I don't know what else to do here. I don't believe in Joe Flacco off of 5 days of being in Cincy. Give me the Packers at the minus 14.5, even though I don't necessarily believe in them. Niners, Buccaneers. The Buccaneers don't cover anything. I think they're going to cover this one at the minus 3.5. And finally, the Lions in Kansas City are underdogs. Yes, you heard that correctly. The Lions in Kansas City are underdogs at minus 2.5. Whoever made that line must be drunk. Give me Detroit at the plus 2.5. 4 games for you to watch this weekend now.
Show watching.
3 of them in college football, 2 of them at 12 o'clock on Saturday. OSU versus Illinois and Bama versus Missouri. 4 ranked teams going at it. I think there are going to be some serious college football playoff implications on those 2 games. Check them out. How about this one?
Show watching.
Texas versus OU. OU is ranked top 10. Texas not ranked at all. Is Arch Manning real? Is he not real? Is Sarkisian real? Is he not real? What's up with this Texas team Red River rivalry? Give me Texas versus OU. Finally,
what? Show watching.
Saturday and Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Friday and Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. You got 2 game 5s. Tonight, you got a game 5 in the AL versus the Tigers and the Mariners. And tomorrow, you have a game 5 in the NL for the Brewers versus the Cubs. And then on Sunday...
What? Show watching.
Besides the fact that you're watching football all day, saddle up, ladies and gentlemen, because game 1 of the ALDS Toronto Blue Jays verse, we'll find out tonight, kicks off. And I'm going to tell you, that's going to be a fun day. All day Sunday watching football and then playoff baseball at night. That is the type of Sunday I am looking for. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Rome Show here on a Friday. And your
what? Show watching
segment, which is quite possibly one of my favorites of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy all the sports that are on. Be sure to be nice to all the people you know, because we need a little bit more of that in our lives. Make sure it's an electric one. Make sure you subscribe to all the sites. Share it with a friend. And by the way, be back on Monday because you love the Rome Show. Andrew Romanella saying, have an electric weekend. And, peace.
Thank you for listening.